Title: The Last Train Before Sunrise. On a cold winter morning, long before the sun even thought about touching the rooftops, Daniel sat alone at a nearly empty train station. The clock above the platform read 4:45 a.m. The air was sharp, silent, heavy. Somewhere in the distance, a train hummed like a reminder that time never waits. Daniel looked exhausted, not the kind of tired sleep can fix, the kind that settles deep in your chest after trying and trying again, only to feel like you're still falling short. For 3 years, Daniel had chased one dream: to build something of his own, a business, a vision, a future that could change his life and lift his family with it. But reality had not been kind. His first startup collapsed after 8 months. The second, rejected by investors so many times he stopped counting. By the third attempt, his savings were gone. And then the voices began. Maybe this isn't for you? Just get a stable job. Dreams are nice, but be realistic. At first, those words came from friends. Eventually, they came from inside his own mind. That morning, Daniel held a train ticket to another city, a job interview, a safe job, a predictable life. He didn't even want it, but he was tired of fighting. He stared at the empty tracks and thought, maybe this is how dreams end. Quietly, without applause, without anyone even noticing. Just then, someone sat beside him. An older man, calm, alert, strangely energetic for this hour. He carried only a small leather bag and a worn notebook. After a moment, the man glanced over. Tough morning? He asked gently. Daniel forced a faint smile. You could say that. The man nodded slowly as if he understood more than Daniel had explained. You look like someone standing at a crossroads, he said. Daniel exhaled deeply. I had a dream, he admitted. But it didn't work out. I tried everything. Now I think it's time to be realistic. The old man chuckled softly. Realistic, he repeated. That's a dangerous word. Daniel frowned. Dangerous? Yes, the man said calmly. Because many people use realistic when what they really mean is afraid. The words hit harder than Daniel expected. The train was still 20 minutes away. The old man opened his notebook, flipping through pages filled with notes and sketches. Let me tell you something, he said. 30 years ago, I was sitting exactly where you are. Same station, same cold morning. Daniel turned toward him. I had just lost everything, the man continued. My business failed. I owed money. People told me I was foolish to believe I could build something big. So what happened? Daniel asked quietly. The man smiled. I almost quit. Daniel leaned forward. Almost? I had a ticket in my hand, just like you. I was on my way to accept a safe job, comfortable, predictable. He paused, but right before the train arrived, a stranger asked me one question. Daniel swallowed. What question? The old man looked directly into his eyes. He asked, if you quit today, will you be proud of that decision 10 years from now? The question settled into Daniel's chest like a weight. The distant sound of a train horn echoed faintly. I realized something in that moment, the man continued. Failure isn't the opposite of success. Quitting is. The platform lights flickered. I tore up my ticket, he said simply. I went back. I tried again and again and again. And it worked? Daniel asked. The man laughed softly. Not immediately. In fact, I failed 2 more times. Daniel blinked. But then, the man continued, one small idea started to work. Slowly, painfully, step by step. He closed the notebook. Today, that small idea is a company with over 5,000 employees. Daniel stared at him. You're serious? The man nodded. Yes, and every morning I wake up grateful that I didn't board that train. The sound of the approaching train grew louder now. Metal against steel. Closer. Closer. Daniel's heart pounded. The old man stood and picked up his bag. Listen carefully, he said. Dreams don't die because of failure. They die because of doubt and surrender. Daniel looked down at the ticket in his trembling hand. The old man placed a firm hand on his shoulder. You don't need permission to try again? He said quietly. You only need courage. The train arrived with a metallic hiss. Doors slid open. Passengers stepped inside. Daniel stood frozen. What if I fail again? What if everyone was right? Then another thought rose inside him. What if they're wrong? Wait, Daniel called. The old man turned. What's your company called? Daniel asked. The man smiled knowingly. Have you ever heard of Harper Innovations? Daniel's breath caught. It was one of the fastest growing tech companies in the country. You founded that? The man simply nodded. The doors began to close. And just before they sealed shut, he said one final sentence. The difference between successful people and everyone else is simple. They stayed on the path one more time than they wanted to quit. The train pulled away. Silence returned. But the sky was changing now. A faint orange glow spread across the horizon as the first light of sunrise broke through the darkness. Daniel looked at the empty tracks, then at the ticket. His hands shook. For a moment, nothing moved. Then he took a deep breath. Slowly, he tore the ticket in half. The pieces fell to the ground, and for the first time in months, he smiled. He turned away from the platform and walked back toward the city, back toward uncertainty, back toward struggle, back toward his dream. Because sometimes the moment that feels like the end is actually the beginning of your real story.